Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Too Ambitious. I'm so happy everyone is here to join me, Trish Lindo, for another episode with another extraordinary entrepreneur. Please let me know in the comments where you're joining me from. This has been such an extraordinary week. We had the solar eclipse this week. So let me know in the comments, did you see the eclipse? What did you do? I meditated a little bit, took a little time for reflection. I did not see the eclipse. I know. I didn't have the glasses and I didn't want to go blind. So I took it on myself to just meditate. But if you saw the eclipse wherever you are in the world, drop in the comments and let me know. Now, if this is the first time that you have been watching this show, you're like, what is happening on this show? Well, this is the live series that celebrates Black women and women of color entrepreneurs who are changing the world. These women are innovative, resilient, and of course, very, very ambitious. Now, today, I have an extraordinary multi-hyphenate on the show today, and she is a hot one, ladies and gentlemen. When I tell you, she is scorching hot. Now, you're probably thinking, who could this be? Well, let me tell you. We have CEO and founder of Brown Betty Enterprises, Ms. Peppur Chambers. She is an entrepreneur who uses her gifts as a producer, educator, content creator, and writer to inspire women to live their lives to the fullest. Peppur is also the author of novels Harlem's Awakening and Harlem's Last Dance. Now, I want to see the screen light up for her because if we don't get more heart emojis, she's not coming on. Okay, I'm joking. She will come on. But I want to see lots of heart emojis for Peppur Chambers. Peppur, thank you so much for being here today.
I'm so happy to be here. Hello, heart emojis. Keep them coming. So exciting.
Yes. I want to see all the love, How are you doing today, Peppur?
Oh my gosh, I'm doing great. Thank you, Trish, for having me here. And it's so nice to be reconnected to you. And with this whole solar eclipse, same thing. I didn't get the glasses, but I did try to make so you could do the pinhole. It didn't work. I was blinding myself. I took my crystals out to get recharged and I just sat outside and I was like, this is happening.
Oh my God, that is super smart. I totally forgot to recharge my crystals.
My cousin told me.
Oh man, you know what? I'm going to have to wait till the next full moon then, whenever that is.
Exactly.
So
we have another chance.
Exactly. Well, I am super happy that you're here to have this conversation. You are so talented and, just one of those people who has so many talents in a lot of different areas. Like it's kind of the same, but it's like different. And you're using so many of your skills. And what I really want everybody to understand is that you are somebody who's been doing this for a long time in a good way, because you've been on this creative journey that is creative, but you're an entrepreneur at the same time. So tell me a little bit about, how did you know which path to take? Because I would assume when you're so talented that it's hard to decide which direction to go to.
Did you hit the several nails on the head, my friend? So that's such a great question. And it's taken decades to figure out the answer, to be honest, because I will tell you, when I was acting and doing all the things, someone was like, can you just focus on one thing? And I'm like, actually, no, I can't just focus on one thing. But what I did learn after doing some strategy lessons with the coach is that writing wasn't the thing. Mm-hmm. Writing has always been at the base, whether it was writing a song or writing a play or writing a book. I was like, oh, and you know why? Because when I got my first journal when I was 10 years old, and I wrote my first play at that time. I wrote my play and I made my brothers act in it in the backyard. I've always been a writer. So then that was the thing. And so when I realized that, it literally helped me with branding so that my tag now is writer, educator, producer,
all the things.
Mm-hmm. And that's how I got into this place of like, okay, this is what I do all consistently. And then my talents lie in all these other places.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it, and I think what's also really interesting is that, you lived in LA for some time, you were pursuing being an actor, And like, if you've ever lived in LA, everybody knows. If you've ever lived in LA, everybody in LA has like 50 different talents. Like you're a singer, you're a dancer, you're an actor, you're a producer, you're a writer. Everybody does all the things, right? You know, and you have done all of them extraordinarily well. So when you're in LA, you know, it's easy to kind of get pulled in so many different directions, but you carved out a space for yourself with, you know, Brown Betty. You know, can you tell me a little about this cabaret show that you created and tell me why it was so important for you to create it at that time?
Oh my goodness. Yes. So Brown Betty's is my brand. And the show that I created was called Harlem's Night. And it was a cabaret story. And what that was, is that so many things. So I have to start with this part of the story. I wanted to be a singer, right? So I was writing songs and I was in New York, I was recording, doing all the things. And then I had a producer say, you know, I'm showing these songs to other people. That was devastating. So I moved myself to LA. I'm like, I'm going to be an actor now. I'm going to figure this out. So I had all these songs that had nothing to do with anything. And I realized, oh, there's a story that I can weave together with these songs. So that was step number one. Step number two was that Pussycat Dolls was very, very happening. And I wanted to be a Pussycat Doll. And more than that, I love vintage and 1940s. And I always wanted to be a pinup girl. So those two loves, and let me throw in number three for LA. I was a little bit older getting to LA. So like auditioning and getting gigs was just not happening so quick. I don't want to put that on age so much, but just saying, being honest, you know what I mean?
Right. And it's LA, right? That's
it's
how
LA.
it is in LA.
It's LA.
Very, very ageist place.
Very ageist, very ageist. So I was like, I have these songs. I want to be a pinup girl. And I want to perform. I don't want to keep waiting. What does that look like? Harlem's Night. And so I put it all together. And the fourth thing, very important, is that during that time, we were having an identity interesting crisis as Black women. I don't know that we were having the crisis, but people were showing us in not the most positive way. And I wanted to reclaim my story and reclaim my image. So what did I do? I danced on stage in my underwear, telling a story that I wanted to tell.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's how Betty's was created. And to get deeper into it, I had Betty Page, who was popular, and Betty Boop. And then I brought in myself, Brown Betty. So that's how Brown Betty came to be. And and so then the show is about looking for love in all the wrong places, which was my story. And you and I both have found love, but man,
I think anyone can relate to that, right?
Totally.
You know? So, you know, so it's extraordinary. So you created this cabaret show, and then when you were creating it, did you think that it would sort of lead to all these other opportunities?
Absolutely not. I thought it was going to be, actually, we were commissioned to do 2 shows. The guy was like, hey, I have this stage. Can you come on it? And so we did. And it was literally 2 shows. Then we extended to another weekend. And then just fast forwarding almost 9 years of performing. So I never thought it was going to go to where it went.
Wow. I am blown away. I was very fortunate to see one of your Brown Betty shows like back in the day. And I loved it. I loved it because, you know, you just don't see things like that, especially when it comes to Black women, you know, really sort of owning it. So thank you for creating that. You know, I'm truly blown away by what you've been able to do. And so out of that, you've created Brown Betty Enterprises. Tell me a little bit about, you know, what you've created under this brand and this business, what you've been doing as a creative.
Thank you. Okay, so Brown Betty's, I have a marketing degree, and I'm bringing this up. So I do not have an entertainment degree. I did not study acting or any of those things because my parents wouldn't let me. Like, no, you're going to do something else. So this marketing degree let me know how to brand. Like, I have a brand. I trademarked it immediately. So right. So that helped a lot. And that it helped me stay in this business mindset of like, oh, you are creating a brand now. So what is going to be under this brand and how are you going to use it? So the Brown Betty's characters in the show, yes. Then I created that brand. And then from there, what I learned from doing the show is originally I thought our audience was going to be male persuasion because we were in our underwear doing burlesque. But it turned out that it was women because the women were identifying with the story and with what was put on stage. Win, excitement, thank you, thank you. So I realized, right? So then the products and whatever I started doing were related to speaking to women. So I did the workshop, Be Your Own Betty. We teach women how to be. My friend Morinike, she and I developed the Brown Betty's web series, which was about looking for love in all the wrong places. And then I got to, which I know we'll segue to, and then I have my books with the Brown Betty's characters, number 1, number 2. And, oh, important, Trish, I love the Playboy brand. So that's
really?
Yes. And I went to the Playboy Club as a kid with my cousin or whatever. So I was like, there's a literary portion, there's a dance, entertainment part.
Right.
And there's, what am I missing? But I was like, that's the model.
Yes.
So I had that in my head from the beginning.
Which was super smart to brand yourself that early, and I love that women showed up because it was so empowering.
Yeah.
I love that, and then, what I'm curious about though, is that how did you find this, how did this love for 1940s Harlem come about? Because that's not something that, you just sort of like, oh yeah, I love the 1940s, 1940s America in Harlem, very specific time. Why that time period? And why are you so drawn to it?
Oh my gosh. Sometimes I think I'm reincarnated.
Yeah, see, that's another show, but I'm here for that.
I know, right?
I want to talk more about that for sure.
I think my life was ended early during the time. On top of it, like in real life world, my mom introduced me to old movies. We would just sit there and watch it. And I have a fantastic love for it. And even though in real-time media, Black folks are not included, apparently we didn't exist in the 40s.
Right.
Right? That
Right.
part, which I also hate. But we're there. What I loved about the 40s was this sense of demureness. Like even this jacket, my mom gave me this. I love this jacket. The material. Oh, thank you. The material, if I should know it, but the material is fantastic. The cut is fantastic. I loved the simplicity. I loved the attention to detail. I loved how there was, yes, we're doing burlesque, but we're not showing everything and we're not saying everything. There's this veil of like mystery that you get from the 40s. At least I do.
Yes.
And then Harlem, right? Harlem was us. It is us. And man, yes, there's some propaganda,
Always is.
It always is, but Harlem is and was about us. And I wanted to, aside from being reincarnated, I wanted to be a part of that as much as I can. I just love it.
No, I mean, clearly you love it. I mean, you've created a whole world around it, So you wrote 2 novels. You've written 2 novels, Harlem's Awakening, and most recently, Harlem's Last Dance. Which again is surrounding 1940s Harlem. So tell me about this particular book series and, how you decided to sort of come up with the storyline for it and everything.
Ooh, okay. So the cabaret show, when I was writing that, I was like, ooh, there's more to this. So technically Harlem's Night, the cabaret show, is the 3rd book, which I'm working on right now.
Oh my God.
Right? So the story is, yes, about a woman looking for love in all the wrong places, but it's also about finding your voice. This young girl is trapped in a brothel and she has to dance her way out of it. And as I was writing, my literal thought was, oh my gosh, I have a hard time finding my voice. I know I'm talking a lot now, but when it comes to expressing myself and communicating and speaking up for my needs and my wants, I am like this. And so, right. And so I thought, how can I personify that?
Yeah.
Right. And so I put this woman literally trapped by someone, and let me interrupt myself. And also it's important for me to shine the light on human trafficking of Black women and girls because no one talks about us. And I'm like, through fiction, I'm talking about it. So this young girl is abducted, and she's trapped, and she has to use her internal powers. Like she has to use herself to get free.
Wow.
And
That's a powerful story for all women, navigating life in general.
Yeah. Thank you. And so that's what it's about. And then I wanted to see a character that had wealth, a Black female character that had wealth. I want to see Black female villains. I want to see Black female dancers, and so I put all the stuff that I love into the book.
I am blown away by that, because what I'm curious about is, how did you find your voice? Because I would think you've had that voice and you've got this presence. I would think that you're just kind of born that way. But we all know that's not true. We all know that's not how it works. It takes work, right? But how did you get to this point, Peppur, where you could own your voice and you could speak up for yourself?
That question makes me cry a little bit. I cry all the time, but Trish, through practice, through therapy, through girlfriends like you, like seeing other friends like you do things, and realizing, oh, I can too. Taking risks, knowing myself better, loving myself more, and realizing that I get to take up space too.
Yeah.
Those are some of the main things. And it has been a journey. Man, I used to be very quiet, or like I would just sit in the room, not say anything, because I was afraid of what was going to come out.
Right.
And it's taken a long time, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's an ongoing journey, right?
Yes.
You're never done.
Never done.
No, you're never done, Well, thanks for being so vulnerable and sharing that with us, because I think we're all on our spiritual paths, one way or the other, and trying to find our way and trying to find our voice. But, you're an inspiration to all of us, to keep going. So thank you for that. Let's talk a little bit about the business of being you. Let's talk about the money, so, because you are an entrepreneur, you are a creative, for anyone out there who might be watching, who's trying to carve out that world for themselves, and bring all of their talents together under this one umbrella. How do you do it? And how, and you don't obviously have to tell me numbers, but, how do you sort of make it all work from a financial standpoint when you're not getting a steady paycheck every week or month or whatever the case may be?
Completely. Question of the day, once again, I'm going to be completely honest and vulnerable with all of you. So I do not make a sustainable living yet at any of the things I do.
Yeah.
I have to do multiple things to make a living. And I will be even more vulnerable and honest with you. I am a married person. I have support. I have partnership. And on that partnership tip, I think there was a quote from Coco Chanel that said something about partnership, like we need partnership, whether it's resources, emotional support, whatever. So I just want to say that out loud.
Absolutely.
Okay, so finances. So books, I'll be honest, I've sold 66 books all year.
Yeah.
When I was like, hang on, is that true? And my publisher's like, yep. So this is work, trying to sell these books. And this conversation isn't even about the books. We're just talking about entrepreneurship. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So 66 books this year. From Brown Betty's, from the shows, I would usually make, oh my goodness, numbers. So one of the last shows we did was around 250 people. I don't remember the numbers. I won't waste time on that. Not making a living from selling tickets.
Right.
Theater is one of you lose money doing theater.
Yeah, you lose money in theater.
Right. And so then to fast forward, so what I did do to try to start making more money is I created my company Pen and Peppur. So there I ghostwrite, I copyright, I proof, I edit. So I use my writing skills, and that brings me more money than book sales or anything like that.
Wow. Okay.
And the last part is that in college, so my dad told me to get my MBA, and I did not. So now that I'm like, dang, maybe if I got my MBA, like I could have taken Brown Betty's further and to a place where it made money, like
Right.
Playboy. And so I say that, like, man almighty, I'm an idea person. I'm a creative. I do have a business mind. I am
Right.
an entrepreneur. I
Yeah.
really am all of those things. When it comes to making money, to me, that has been like like, when the heck is that going to happen? And what am I doing? Like, what am I doing, not doing? Am I, like, even sometimes I'm like, is Brown Betty's not a hobby, but when people say if you're not making money, it's a hobby. Like,
Right.
is Brown Betty's an emotional thing?
Right.
Or do I need to start asking for more help and get it to a place where it is like a viable
Right.
commodity,
Yeah.
And I don't mind. It's almost like it feels like you're pulling back like Wizard of Oz, like, oh, what's going on back there? But it's not. Brown Betty's exists. It's been in existence since 2005.
Right.
And it's a real thing. Money is my hurdle. No, universe. Money is abundant. Money is, I'm like, dude, figure it out, ask for help.
Absolutely. Money comes to me easily. That's what I say.
Yes.
Money comes to me easily.
Money comes to me easily. And to the last point about it is I never wanted to be in the corner office, and maybe that's why I'm literally not there now.
Right.
Do I know that I have a viable idea? Yes. I've sold products. I've sold shows. I have every product you could want that can sell.
Yeah.
I would need, who do I need? A CFO, a COO? What position? Or do you have to have?
I think any of the OOOs would be great.
I love that so much. Any of the OOOs.
We'll take it.
We'll take it. And if anyone's listening and you're interested in this brand, I am 100% interested in your OOO. Please.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
I want to grow, and this is a long tail thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, sometimes I think when people say like, oh, is this a hobby? You're like, no, I'm putting like my everything into this. This is not a hobby. This is my life.
This is my life.
Yeah. This is what you do, So yeah.
It is my life. It's right there. Brown Betty.
Yes.
That's the logo right there. It is my life.
I love it. I love it. I wanted to also show, an image of you, don't worry, it's a good image of you in all your cabaret-ness. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up for everybody. But, in the meantime, what are you most proud of so far, Pepper? What are you most proud of?
I just got chills, and then I'm going to cry again. In some ways, oh my God, my books. I love writing. I love my books. I'm most proud that this happened. And I'm most proud, honestly, of the friendships, like of the Betty friendships I have, like our mutual friend, Kalia, and the other women that helped me build Crescent, Kina, Danielle, who am I forgetting? I knew that would happen if I started saying names, but those guys are my heart and my family. And I'm most proud of those. Oh yeah. That was in the Czech Republic. So I lived in Prague for a while. We didn't talk about it, but that was when I lived. Oh man, there's my pinup.
Yes.
That's the pinup girl.
The ultimate pinup girl. Yeah. She's on fire.
She's
very hot. Very hot.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for you need those reminders. It's like, oh yeah.
Killing it.
So hot. Oh.
I love it. Listen, everyone out there should own their hotness.
I'll say.
Yeah.
You do.
I do. You
do every day.
I'll say. You have the name. You also have the name. You gotta show up.
My mom's creative. She said she wanted a strong Black woman. And then my dad tries to take credit for naming me, and my mom's like, no, I did it. So
Yeah. You totally, your mom killed it. So I love it. So yeah, but I think that, when you build long-term relationships, especially with other women who have supported you through your journey, that is invaluable. You can't put a price tag on that, and I know all those ladies that you have mentioned, and they are extraordinary. So
they are.
I consider you one of the luckiest and one of the richest women I've ever met, because those relationships that you have with those women is extraordinary.
It is.
Yeah. So yes, I know. Also, too, Pepper is a crier.
Okay.
She feels, and that's okay.
I'm
So
an emotional person.
absolutely. No, I completely understand that. When you have people around you who are constantly filling you up and supporting you, no matter what it is, the ups and downs, a lot of people don't have that. And I think sometimes we take that for granted, especially when we're in the pursuit of our careers and making more money. And, I mean, also too, it's just living here in America, but yeah, but those relationships are invaluable. So kudos to you. So, as we wrap up here, as an entrepreneur, as the author of Harlem's Last Dance, and you're an educator as well.
Yes.
What's the next for you?
Ooh,
Hot
yes.
one. What is your next?
Thank you. Next.
Yes.
The next for me is, goes back to those multiple nails on the head.
Okay.
The next big picture is Brown Betty's, like, making real money. And I will be meeting with some strategists and just getting into the business, more of the business mindset. How do I do that? Yes, I've been asking the question for 10 years, but okay, maybe now it's time.
Yeah.
The next is part 3 of Harlem's Last Dance, which will be called Harlem's Night. Working on that.
What?
Oh, nice. Beautiful. Look at that cover. Oh my gosh. I love the cover so much. And shout out to Spaceboy Books and my designer. And I know his name is just he knows who he is. You can see it online. And the next, I get overwhelmed in my brain. The next is just writing and keeping the brand going.
Yeah, absolutely.
From that standpoint. And also, I know lots of things going on, but building Pen and Pepper. I love helping others with their work. If you're out there, if you're an author and you're struggling, please call on me. I talk with Pep. I'm a ghostwriter. I can help you write. I can help you edit your book. I love doing that for others.
I love that. For a small fee or a big fee.
Yes, that is not free.
Yeah, it's not a free service.
It ain't. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, hey, you got to put it all out there. You got to ask for what you want. So
yes,
everyone, if you can, definitely, pick up a copy of Harlem's Last Dance and support this extraordinary author. I also think this series could be like a killer movie, like a Netflix series. Let's put it all out there.
Put it all out there. Thank you. And that was the next. So I'm taking classes so that I know how to write for television. Like, I know how to, but dude, this is a skill. You can't walk into J.I. Case and say, let me build a tractor.
Right.
You got to learn. So thank you for bringing that up, because that's exactly. I've written a couple short films. We have one coming out called Ownership that will be coming out this year. And I'll be shooting another one this fall called Bastard. And so I'm bringing that part of my life up because this is visual. I'm a visual writer. My dream has always, I wrote the script. My dream has always for this to be turned into a film or a series. Yes, please. Whoever's listening, that's exactly what is the next step for this.
Yes, it is.
And that's how you make money.
Exactly.
I want to leave it right there.
That is how you make money. Well, one of the ways of how you make money.
Yes.
But I know you're going to continue to do big things, Pepper, as you do. For years I didn't even really know that your first name was Pepper, because I just called you Hot One,
which I love.
I'm like, hey, Hot One. That's what we just would call it. I had no idea.
I love that.
But I want to appreciate you for everything that you have contributed to this world and to the entertainment and cultural zeitgeist for Black women and for Black people in general. So thank you. Thank you. And thank you for taking your time today for joining me on Too Ambitious. I don't think you're too ambitious at all.
At all. Can you be?
No.
Mental health may say stop, but
right. But ambition is a good thing, right? It's the fuel. It drives everything. So, but thank you so much, Peppur, for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone, for joining this amazing conversation with this amazing and talented woman. Be sure to follow her on Instagram at Peppur the Hot One. You can also find her on LinkedIn at Peppur Chambers. If you are able to support her work, please do. Harlem's Last Dance. If you're one of the OOOs, I'm saying, hit her up, because we can make this work. We got to call it in because, as we all know, money comes to us easily. Yes. It's like a moisturizer.
Hyaluronic acid.
Yes, all of the things. So thank you so much, Peppur. And I want to thank everybody for being on the show today and for joining me in this amazing conversation that we've had today. I will see you next time for another wonderful episode of Too Ambitious. Thank you again. And if you want to be on the show, message me. And if you'd like to be a sponsor on the show as well, message me, email me, call me. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next time. Bye.